my God, seriously. It's even worse when he's like falling apart for most of this episode.
Yes, which is what's happening here. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Batman the Fan-imated stream. Oh, yes, we're going to get a little muddy. We're getting into muddy waters here when it comes to the return of Clayface. How's it going, Scott?
It's going just fine. We were having
Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you.
Mhm.
It was a
Nice
good
script.
day. Had
Yeah.
some very nice. Okay, cutest thing. Declan, my 6-year-old, they made cards for me, and he brings up he drew a Batman symbol on the front in crayon, and then on the back put all this black and yellow. So when he's handing me his card, he's like, "Daddy, it's got Batman on the front, and look, Batman colors on the back." And I was like,
"Oh, that's adorable."
Oh my God! I'm like,
Love that.
buddy, I love you.
Just hit you right in the feels, right there, right in the field.
Oh man, so yeah, it's just been a good day, and been watching a lot of streaming television with my wife. I would like to make it sound like we're on a Batman stream, it's all this manly stuff, but no, it's Time Traveler's Wife and The Summer I Turned Pretty. So
Summer I Turned Pretty. Wow.
Actually, okay,
It's
soapy teen drama. It's based on a series of books by the same woman who wrote To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Okay.
It's
on Netflix? Oh,
it's on Amazon Prime. Yes.
Okay.
It's season 1. It's like 7 episodes. It's summer teens in love drama, and I don't know. I'm enjoying it, man.
That's good. Hey,
sit my fruity drinks.
Yeah.
Sit my fruity drink and watch a little teen drama with my wife. It's just the way it goes.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, cheers to you and cheers to all the fathers out there. Papa Film Junkie didn't get to see him today, but I talked to him. He's out of town, so we're gonna make up for it probably next weekend. So, but yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. What's going on, Logan?
What's up?
Yeah, it's almost time for that. Yeah, and we got Mr. Fear Jason, and then of course,
that's what we needed. We needed to have mudslides.
Yeah,
that's what we needed to have. Oh my God,
missed opportunity right there.
Seriously, with the amount that we drink on this channel,
I know, right? So might as well leaned into it. Shit, didn't even think about that. Oh well, it's all good. But yeah, we were talking about the return of Clayface right here in Mudslide, and man, good old Matt Hagen ain't doing so well, huh?
Serious. It's been a minute since I've watched this episode, and I like this episode a lot.
Really do too. Yeah.
But there were moments in it that I was like, "Oh yeah, he's having a rough go of it, isn't he?"
Yeah, there's one particular moment where I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this part right here." There's like a certain part where I was like, "Oh yeah, this part that that eventually we'll get there, that takes place on the subway," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this part."
No, I remember that. I remember that distinctly.
Yes, so do I. And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah." And some dark moments in here, and really some good moments, some tragic moments. Obviously, when we talked about the first time we saw Clayface, and obviously his theme that Shirley Walker made is very tragic and sad. And then when you hear it in this episode, and it just, you feel bad for the guy, even though he's a douche.
Well, even Batman feels bad. This is another great example of how this iteration of Batman is like, Hagen, I offered to, help you. Offer still stands. It's like, oh yeah, Batman's trying to help these people.
Yeah. That's what shines in this one too. And he's just up to his old tricks because we don't exactly know what is going on. But when when the episode starts off, and when we're at where are we, Tarnower or whatever the hell, Tarnower.
Yeah,
I thought that was like some kind of play on something, but it's just the dude that owns the building's last name, which he turns into, which is funny. Oh, sorry, you froze up there for a minute. Sorry. Yeah.
So, you froze up too. Okay. Yeah. we froze up on each other.
That happens. And speaking of frozen, there's a part even where Batman tries to freeze Clayface in this.
Okay, and that goes into a lot of the there's a lot of movie references.
Oh yeah, that could go into the little Terminator vibe right there for sure. But yeah, it starts off where we're at this we're at this place where, of course, Clayface is going to rob it, and of course he's utilizing his powers to be like, hey, let's turn it to the old guard. Of course, you have the young guard and the old guard that are keeping watch on this place, and of course they do the back and forth of like, hey, don't fall asleep. Hey, it's not past my bedtime, old man or old time or whatever he says. And then of course Clayface goes in there, and then it's that whole switch thing, and then the younger guard sees on the wait a minute, doing that whole thing where he sees them on the monitors and everything. So we know.
Which, by the way,
yeah.
I look how tall that building is.
It's very
the tall. Elevator is only going up 4 flights.
Yeah, a little technical.
4 floors. No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. What can you do? And then it's funny too, because this part was actually, we had some good Alfred and Batman or Bruce back and forth actually in this one, because then we get to Batman, who's just doing his nightly patrol, and he's just like, hey, Alfred, it's gonna slow night, nothing really happening right here. And then of course he's gonna make it probably home for dinner, and then sure enough an alarm is tripped at this place, so he got to go over there. And is Alfred just making an entire almost like Thanksgiving dinner?
It's Alfred, dude. I mean, we've seen the way he we've seen the way that he dresses when he's chilling out at the manor. So yes, I do appreciate that. Well, sir, forgive me, but your goose is cooked.
Yeah, but I just started laughing. I'm like, is that just for Bruce? I mean, I know the guy obviously needs his protein, but that's a whole big, huge bird right there that he's got. I'm like, all right, hey, leftovers maybe it's for the week.
I mean, you got to. I mean, sandwiches. I like
sandwiches.
Those are some sandwiches, man.
Or like again, maybe Bruce is on a very distinct diet where it's like you make a big, huge bird. I don't know, but then again, if it's turkey, it's too much tryptophan right there. But or if it, just make little meals, for the week, as he could take to Wayne Enterprises in one of those little Rubbermaid containers. Maybe that's what's going on. See, we're looking way too into this. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Batman does show up. He shows up, crashes right through, and geez, already with the bots going on in the chat. I tell you what.
No, this is not a Hardak episode.
Yeah, I know, right? But
we need we could take some mudslingers, yeah. but really, no bar. His Silicon Soul is coming off. You guys are welcome to come back then when it's more of an appropriately themed episode. I mean, seriously.
Exactly. Yeah. Cronenberg is obviously, yeah. I mean that, talking about, I think we made reference when we talked about the first Clayface episode, or the first part 1 and part 2 is like, yeah, I mean, if they were to do like a black labeled kind of movie, a Cronenberg would actually probably be a good choice to do a Clayface, black label movie. Not too bad.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah,
it would scare the shit.
Yeah, it would scare the shit out of you. And we talked about that on the Vodka stream. We brought up Cronenberg because you said you hadn't seen the remake of The Fly. And and then I'm like, yeah, it's I could see why, because my God, that guy. And then I mentioned how I can watch that one more than I can watch the original because of little phobias that I have, which is funny. And then of course my mom sent me a big picture of a big huge fly. Thanks, Mom. Gotta love her.
That's how she shows she cares.
Of course. We had a laugh about it though today. I got to have dinner with her at least, and my aunt. Anyways, so then of course Clayface does this thing where it's like, when the young guard gets in there, he turns into like the owner, and then of course at first he's like, and I just love how he's like all of it. He's like, he even goes, "Hey, I'm cocked!" Like he shouts, like, "Hey, my gun is ready to shoot right now, buddy. You better. What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I just love how he's nervous, but he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna fire if I need to." But I like the fact that he announced that the gun was cocked.
Yeah, I mean it's being responsible. Exactly. Of course, I also love how Clayface turns into the owner and starts berating him. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, leaving." And then he goes, "Wait a minute, what happened to your accent?"
And aren't you supposed to be in Hawaii or something like that? He's supposed to be on a trip or something. And so it's like, yeah.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be in Hawaii?
So it's like, but a little delayed, but hey, at least you figured it out before you left the room. And then of course Batman comes charging in, and then he turns into that guy, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, I caught like somebody, blah blah blah." Does a whole, and then what's funny too is like even before this, when he was on the elevator, I mean, they already gave hint that something's not quite right with Mr. Hagen here, because
breathing
he's
so heavy,
sweating and just kind of like, okay, so what is exactly happening here? But then of course we get those lovely sound effects that that we love to hear so much. I mean, ugh, good Lord. I mean, I think like
because he can't hold himself together. Like when he, like, even as he's like doing things, he's like, when he smashes, he's leaving pieces of him behind.
Exactly. And it's just very noticeable when he's taking on Batman, he goes flying out the window, and then even when he lands, I mean, everything just seems like it's a little squishy. And then Batman, I mean, and then he's even like struggling to walk, like he's just
Batman like just jogs up beside him.
Yeah, he's just like
on your left.
Yeah. All right. Hagen, come on, man. I wanted to turn you back, into in a human. And like you said, Batman is trying to help. He said he offered, and obviously Clayface has not been around for a little bit, and I love how people are just like with the sound effects. Yeah, sorry about that.
We needed you to feel the way that we felt as we watched the
what is that called? ASMR, when somebody's like eating something and people just listen to it. Ugh. I don't know about listening to Clayface move around. That might get you sick. But he's struggling, and then of course takes on Batman. But yeah, like you said, anytime he's smashing a car or smashing anything, he's leaving a lot of him behind, because he's really falling apart. Then this lady just shows up and goes, "Matt, get in," and he gets in, and we're like, all right, so he's got a new lady in his life, and that is Stella.
I mean, it was so funny that I didn't remember the episode well enough, because once we found out her name was Stella, I was like, please tell me we're going to get a streetcar named Desire call back in this episode.
Oh, and
it will come.
Oh, it
comes.
Oh, it definitely comes. And they were like, because I mean, it made sense given that, Hagen is like this dramatic actor, so why not just incorporate that into it? So kudos on them.
There's a few more. Like there's a scene in this episode towards the end where, like, within 5 minutes, it references 3 different movies. And I was
really,
and you better believe. Oh yeah, and believe me, 10-year-old me did not catch.
Oh, I'm sure.
But 40-year-old me got every single one.
There you go. Could play some trivia then. But of course, like you said last week, it's great to hear Ron Perlman again, of course, playing Clayface, which that voice just like when he's just yelling and saying stuff, man, I tell you, it's always good.
I'm not even a man.
That's so good. But then we're back at the Batcave, and then some good back and forth right here, and I just love it how Batman is obviously he took clay sample and is analyzing and saying that he's basically his integrity is breaking down, and Alfred goes, I wasn't aware that he had any integrity, sir. And it's just like, Alfred, you I love it.
you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
You. Yeah, he's talking about it in a physical sense, of course. I like that line. That was a great line.
He's literally falling apart. I also love how Alfred's like pouring him tea, and Batman's like,
not even.
No, I don't. I don't need any tea.
Yeah, how much stuff is wasted that when Alfred is like, come on, sir, you need something. You need something in your system, and of course, Batman's just too busy doing whatever, and he's not drinking the tea. He's got dinner that he leaves cold and all that stuff. Poor Alfred. There should be an entire series. Or bits or something like that of Bruce and Alfred and all the times that he's missed dinners and wasted food or something like that. Could be a funny little bit. I don't know.
Alfred, it's cold.
Yeah, it's
vichyssoise, sir.
Supposed to
be cold.
By the way, happy 30th.
Shout out to Batman Returns.
Yes,
30th to Batman Returns.
That's true.
Yes.
There's actually a screening that's going to be happening at the end of the month. That's what it was. Oh, sorry. I just had a moment of, that's what it was. Because I was talking to my mom about a certain date, the 27th of this month, because we have like a family thing. I'm like, why is the 27th relevant? Yeah, over in like LA, they're doing a screening of Batman Returns. So anybody in the LA area, do that. I thought about doing it, but I got a family thing, so I guess I can't. But I was like, don't you love it when you're going, why did I think about that date? And then all
Oh
of a
yeah,
sudden,
yeah.
randomly right here on Batman the Fan-Animated stream, ding, there it is right there. See, this is what's happening.
Trust me, at my age, it happens a lot more. It's a lot
Oh
more
yeah, it's getting a
frequent.
lot more
Just
for yeah,
saying.
yeah, for me too. And then of course when when he's explaining what's going on with Hagen, and then of course wondering who this woman is, and then Alfred again with the quip, maybe she likes mud baths. So ridiculous.
And he says it so sure. Maybe she, and he says it just so matter of fact. I love Ephraim Zimbalist
Yeah.
Jr. Well, maybe she likes mud baths. Like,
So perfect though. It's so perfect. And then so then we have we're back at the back cave. Oh yeah. Well, we kind of skipped it a little bit. We forgot that yes, there was a scene before that. Sorry, that was my fault. We skipped it ahead. But yes, we do find out who Stella is. She is a scientist, is helping Matt. There's like this whole contraption, which actually really reminds me of these old Terminator. I don't know if you ever had
yes,
this. Yes,
I had. Yes.
Okay, I didn't have it, but my best friend down the street did, and we played with it all the time. Where you literally took like a T800, and there was like clay, and you put it in the thing, and you could literally just make the skin. So good.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. You used to be like, if you ever did like those science experiment books, they taught you how to make it. It was like flat, it was like starch and water and something else, and it was one of those things that when you applied pressure, it would
Yeah,
solidify.
no, it's awesome. It was so great, but then it just made it got messy though. It would get messy.
It got very
Yeah, it would
messy.
get messy. So I could see why they didn't like push that even further. But it was still really cool. But yes, she's helping him out, and she kind of like seals him into this stuff, and like it almost looks like she's adding blood to him also, and like she's hooking up the tubes because it is red. But so I guess it's something of I don't know if it's like blood.
I basically thought it was some sort of chemical that
Yeah.
she's injecting that basically bonds his molecules back together.
Yeah, it helps them stay together because obviously he's falling apart. But yeah, so yeah, that's when we get introduced to Stella. So then when we get back to Stella, she's watching one of Hagen's old movies where he plays a senator who I guess got in some bad whatever accident, whatever, and they needed to redo his face and ends up falling in love with the doctor, even though he was, with somebody else, that whole dramatic thing. So, and then of course she's crying about it because, yeah, she probably consulted on that.
Yes, we later learned that she was like the medical consultant
Yes.
for that movie, but also it kind of gives you sort of that Lonely Hearts feel. Like you realize that she's fallen in love with Matt Hagen, the movie star.
Mhm.
Like she's in love with him because she sees him as these characters that he played in these
Very
movies.
true.
So it also kind of hits harder when you realize that when Matt shows up, because he gets angry that she's watching a movie of him back in the day, and when he tries to console her, he does that thing that writers love to show actors doing, which is where they use their own
He
lines
totally does.
in real life. And he totally plays that card, and you're just like,
Not only did you cure me, but you cured my heart, or something like that, right?
yeah, you didn't, and you didn't just heal
Oh,
my
that's
family.
what it was.
You didn't just heal me. You healed
Yeah.
my heart. You didn't just heal my
Yeah.
body. You healed my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah. So
And
cheesy.
it's like, oh, you disingenuous little
Yeah.
jackass.
Right after you just smashed your TV. I mean, you could have just shut it off, but no, you had to smash the TV. You're such a dick, Mr. Hagen. My God. That's not me anymore. Ugh. Yeah, we get it. We get it. But then so we get that. And then she finally brings out like, hey, guess what? Well, there might be a way to permanently keep you, not falling apart. And she introduces an isotope called MP40. And naturally, of course, when she shows it to him, and then he's just like, yeah, we got to do this. Where can we get this stuff? And of course, it's going to be at, Wayne Biomedical Labs because it's got to be at Wayne. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be at a Wayne
Yeah.
facility.
Something with Wayne on it. It's got to be there, obviously, because, it's just the way it is. Just the way it is. The Wayne name is on a lot of things in Gotham City.
Okay, so I got fun story, by the way. So when he goes to Wayne Biomedical, he shows up as one scientist, and then he ends up transforming into that lady scientist.
Yes.
Okay. Literally, while you were talking, my brain finally connected where the black scientist was familiar to me.
Okay. What's that from?
Okay. In Mask of the Phantasm, that same character design is the doctor who's treating the councilman after he gets injected with the Joker venom.
Oh, well, there you go. Nice. It just hits
He's
you
the one
right
that's
now.
like, I was literally just sitting there going, "Oh my god, that's because I saw his character model going.
That was,
I know this character model." But yeah, in a few weeks when we watch Mask of the Phantasm, he's the guy like trying to hold the councilman down. After because he gets put in the hospital after the Joker like gasses him. That's the doctor.
wow.
So they just recycled the character
That's
model.
crazy. Yeah.
And I didn't go back and confirm. So this is where the audience participation part of the program. But the female scientist, I wanted to go back, but I got caught up watching some stuff with Heather. I will lay good money that the character model for the female scientist is the scientist. It was the girl who was sneaking for the makeout session in On Leather Wings when Man-Bat shows up at the beginning of that episode.
I could see that too. She did have very similar. Yes, that could be very well. Well, I mean, why not? I mean, if you already have it, you already, why not use it? I mean, obviously, like that episode has the Spectrum animation, which is all gorgeous. This one, it's not bad.
Good.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, still good stuff. I mean, obviously,
if you need it for Clayface.
Yeah, you definitely need it for Clayface, no matter what, because of all the shapes and everything and all the action and everything that happens with them. So you need somebody that's going to be, or you need a studio that's going to be drawing some good stuff right there. So yeah, it's not bad, but still not the top, but at close to it though. But
we're still in the top. We're still in like the if you're like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, we're still in tier 1.
Oh yeah, very much. And so obviously we got to do that. So obviously he's gonna have to break into Wayne Biomedical Labs, and it's funny too because obviously Bruce Wayne is there, and I love it. Conveniently he's working there. So then of course he's calling Alfred, and Alfred's just combing through all of Hagen's like work, and there's like stacks. There's like stacks and stacks, and it's just, and I love, of course, the banter too, because I mean, obviously he's just looking through all this stuff, trying to find like something that can correlate to this female scientist, but it's like they're all actresses that he's worked with.
I also love that. There's just something with the idea of Alfred looking through like Starlog and Glamour and like
exactly.
They don't make the film magazines that like I remember thumbing through like back in the day.
Man.
But
oh man, the other day, what was it? There was like it was like a cover of Entertainment Weekly that had Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt on it, promoting Twister, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember that.
Twister.
Yeah, I remembered this because it's so cheesy. Because she's just looking like nice, and then he's doing like he's got a leg up, like, oh my god, tornado, and it's
no. That's not what I said. They were doing the twist.
Oh, was that no? Was that what they're doing?
Yeah, look at it again.
I'll have to look at it again. I thought
they were doing the twist because
I thought he had like a leg up, like he was like whoa, and she was just kind of like doing. So I don't know.
That's interesting because I saw the image and I thought it was kind of like you doing that, and some people like do lift up their leg while they're doing the twist.
True, it very well it could be like you could be right about that, but I was just the thing was it was like bam, it like hit me. I'm like, man, I remember physically having that because my mom would get those magazines all the time and I'd always be thumbing through them. This was before the internet, kids, but when we had physical stuff that we had to wait on to find out about our favorite movies. And yeah,
no, the internet was still around. It just it
was 1996. Yeah, but it was like 1996. There wasn't really much of what was happening like right now. So yeah, you're right though. There was the internet, yeah, but it just didn't have this kind of quality of stuff that we have right now with all there's so many websites.
Rest in peace, Internet Explorer.
Oh, I know, right? I know that just got finally. I mean, geez, how long did that take? And I'm just kind of
right?
Yeah, everybody's just like, see you later. it's fine. Nobody's using that anyways. But anyway, so we there's our tangents right there. So he's looking through all that stuff, and then of course when it comes to him breaking into of course the biomedical labs and grabbing like he's, the female scientists and everything, like you said, he changes to them. The alarm goes off, she trips the alarm, and then of course Bruce hears it, so immediately he's like, I gotta get my bat costume, because he gets into that pretty quickly. But of course he's gonna have it somewhere stashed away in his office. He's probably got bat costumes every office that he has in every Wayne building.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gotta have those stashed away. Stash those, and also gliders somewhere, that we figured out, that we know. He's got gliders stashed away, and he's got bat costumes. So, so he basically, he's going to follow her because he sees this lady just running out into the subway. And this is where I was like, oh yeah, this part. And it's like a scene out of a horror movie. It really is. If they were to, because he's in there, like, Clayface, Hagen, and he's just looking at himself in the mirror as her, and it's just like, and you got this little girl that goes, Mommy, she's got mud all over her, and he's just this little girl, innocent,
and he's just melting. I mean, even his eyes go all yellow. It's because the Clayface eyes, and then he does that thing where like he slams his head against the glass, and his head smushes, and then just starts to like,
and then he
melt.
And you hear the voice just, and with that reverb they put on his voice and everything, and it's just, and then of course everybody starts freaking out and getting out of there. And I love hearing, of course, the background of people, what they're saying about it. Like, oh my God, gross.
The wall.
And then like somebody said, oh my God, it smells, or something like that.
I'm going to be sick.
Just stuff like that. It was, you got to love that. But I mean, just imagine that in a live action where you just see something melting like that. Oh, but just a little girl pointing it out, though. That's what's like starts the whole thing with that. And then, so of course, naturally, Batman, jumped onto the subway, and then, like you said, he brought up a new little tactic to try to get Hagen to.
Even before then, there's that cool scene where he kicks him. Clayface goes sliding across the subway car, and he does that cool thing where like his head hits the door, but then his legs becomes his arms, and his head, like he literally like swaps ends. That's a cool.
That is a cool shot, and it kind of reminds me of like at the end fight that in Terminator 2. There's like part where Arnold throws a T-1000 into a wall or into something like a machine, and he lands like this, and then all of a sudden he just reverses like you remember that part where just
I do,
kind of reminds me of that. So just like I said, there's a lot of, I mean, obviously Terminator 2 had a lot, when you want to come to I think we talked about this when it came to the first episode of Clayface, some inspirations when it comes to that, because obviously when he sprays them with ice, that's also can be like almost like a, hey, remember in Terminator 2 when he froze up? But of course he launches out the window and then lands conveniently in a dump truck and shatters into pieces, and then of course forms back together. But some kind of Terminator 2.
And he still got the isotope.
Yeah, exactly. Still got the isotope, and you got to love that evil laugh, right? That Ron Perlman Clayface evil laugh. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's so, and once again, just let's just take another moment to admire the character design of Clayface in this animated series, where it's just disgusting and huge and hulking, which makes the struggle his character is going through this episode, because it's like he's hoofing it to just carry all of that mass.
Yeah. And again, you feel, I mean, even though he's not the best person, you kind of go like, well, you get it. You get it why he's doing this and why he's just like, I mean, even before he breaks into the labs, Stella really goes, no, you could fall apart at any time. It's too risky. But I mean, what else does he have going for him? It's like, it's either just fall apart and just, dissolve away or whatever the hell, or just got to try to do this. Hey, there she is. Mama Film Junkie right there. Hi, Mom.
Oh, Mama.
There she is. So, yeah. So we got that. And then, Yeah, so he sprays him, and then when we're back at the Bat Cave, I believe, where Alfred is talking.
They're still trying to figure out who the lady would be.
Yes, and then of course he goes.
And Alfred's got that great line
Yes.
where he's like, "It's they tend to be of a less intellectual variety."
Telling you, the quips, man, the Alfred quips are great in this, you know. And then of course when when he brings up the very episode that Stella was watching, and then and then Batman figures out like, oh yeah, maybe that has something to do with something, which we later figure out that she consulted on that very movie or whatever. And then when Batman's just like figures it out, he can't explain it to Alfred because he's like, oh shit, I'm in a hurry. And he basically says, I have no time to explain, Alfred. He's all, there never is. Poor Alfred. He never is, sir. It's like,
oh man,
he'll get the story later.
Exactly. But of course, we go back to Stella's nice place, by the way. That's another thing. Like, that's a sweet setup she's got, and
right on the edge of a cliff.
Right on the edge of a cliff with the waves crashing. Because once again, nothing says bad guy lair like a cliff with waves crashing on it.
And rain and thunder and lightning, of course, when we get to this final battle here.
Oh, and then of course, they've hooked up the stuff. She starts feeding it into him. He starts to turn into Hagen again. And then it's
yeah. And it's just Batman. It's like, you dick. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, like, and but you're doing it the wrong way. You're not doing it the way that you should be doing there, Hagen. So Batman just turned it down. And then, and then she like freaks out. She like charges Batman. I'm like, look at this woman. She just charges him. And then of course it doesn't work out for her.
But even before then, we get our first movie reference.
Which is?
What's her last name?
Stella. Oh, god damn, I forgot. I didn't write it. What is it?
Yeah. Her name was Dr. Stella Bates. And when Batman is explaining it, he goes, yeah, Dr. Bates owned a motel. I assume she sold it to buy this place. And I went, Bates Motel. Oh my God.
Didn't even catch that. Did not catch that. That's amazing.
Psycho. Yes. Alfred Hitchcock, everybody.
Yeah, for anybody who didn't know. Wow. Jeez. I did not even catch that. I did not catch that. That's great.
Icon. I was like, oh my God, Bates Motel. That's hilarious.
Wow. And then of course,
and then she crashes, and then of course Hagen runs out and goes, Stella!
Yeah. So there's your next movie reference right there.
For A Streetcar Named Desire, yes.
Oh man. And then we get to this freaky part right here, which is the clip I wanted to do because I thought it was like I specifically, I remember loving this part right here because, there's this part where Clayface just grabs Batman and literally just pulls him inside him. And,
God, it's so freaky.
It's freaky as hell. And like, there's some, that's what I was like. I remember loving when I was, watching this episode as a kid and seeing that because you see Batman just trying to get out and you see like his face forming. And then even like, oh man, let's just watch the clip. It's just
watch it, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally going to kill him. He's trying to suffocate him. Yeah. The only way.
Oh, wait. Watch this.
The lightning strike. Oh,
that one.
So good.
Alien.
Yes.
Alien chest buster. Right there.
Oh, there you go.
Do you want that, Hagen? Or this?
Or this?
No.
And then the scene right there where he says, go, huh?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh man.
You don't.
Is he dead?
Almost.
And then it's just this is creepy right here too. I hear his heart slowing. Huh? Oh. Dude. And it just comes right out of him. Oh, and the lightning strike. Oh, it's just so good. That's just
and her scream.
Yes,
her scream when it like blows out of his head.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I mean, if we're gonna Warner Brothers, with the mess that they have right now, kind of, and the fact that we're getting a Joker 2 and there's possibly going to be more a Clayface something, horror type movie. Hey, Mr. Mike Flanagan has expressed interest on it, so let that happen right there.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, he has when somebody asked him, I think it was like last year sometime.
No, I saw that because it's like, if Mike Flanagan says I'd be interested, you just go how much and when to Mike Flanagan.
Exactly.
Like the dude does not miss.
He does not. So Jesus Christ, if you want to like get some people like more, when you're trying to fix what's going on here in your normal universe and let's focus over here, that works because the first one made $1 billion and people are talking about the second one like crazy right now. Just saying, you have some ideas right there. And if certain directors want to do it, then they should do it. But we know what's funny about going back to this scene was like, obviously Batman was in this and it's just like, but he came out pretty clean.
Yeah,
but that's a lot of animation.
He should be like dripping with
too much animation right
animation,
there. Yeah. So I mean, I get it, but I remember making the note, no mud on Batman. I was like, it's we get it though. But then of course the fight goes outside during like this, crazy storm that's happening, which naturally we know that that's not good. He's already falling apart. And even Stella's like, what are you doing? You're absorbing the rain. But, Hagen is he's just like, he is out to kill Batman. He wants him just wiped away. And he's
which the irony of that to me in that the episode started off, he offered
to help
to cure you. You're just pissed off that he stopped the illegal way of curing you when the man literally started the episode saying, let me help you. God, it's like, dude, like when he buys it at the end of the episode, it's one of those that you go, this is your own damn fault.
It really is. And it's just like, I don't know if it's his own arrogance or is his own, I don't know. It's like I said, with the score and everything and like the tragedy of his story, like when we saw him.
I mean, even when you say tragedy, look at the title card.
Yes.
It's literally the tragedy mask.
And I love the title card too.
From Greek theater.
Yes. And I love how the shadow, I love how the shadow just is like the clay face. Like that's, again, it's like sometimes, these title cards are just so beautifully crafted at times. But yes, we have the final fight. And of course, it's a cliff. There's waves crashing, like you said, because why not? And then, of course, they both go over. Batman, of course, takes a batarang with a rope on it and stops himself. And then you see Clayface use like him to hold on to him, but he's falling apart. And it's a pretty dramatic scene right here.
Because he's just melting because not only is he already falling apart, it's the rain is just making him like just get muddier.
Yeah.
And I mean, and even so much like Batman grabs a hold and he literally just oozes out of his face.
Hagen! I love that. Kevin Conroy just like yelling. And of course, and then of course there's like a little dramatic. I forgot exactly what Hagen says, but he's just like, he knows he's done for. He's like, you know what can I do? This is done for. I'm done. And of course he falls into the water. And it's a cool, like, dramatic thing because you see it fall in the water, you see the shot,
and he just falls apart.
Yeah, he just falls apart, and then I love it when you see the surface, and you see like it come to the surface, and you see the form of a person, of him, and then it just goes away, just dissolves. There you go. No more Clayface, and of course Stella's crying her eyes out. So it's pretty damn dramatic. I'm guessing this references something. No,
nothing.
Okay, I was wondering because you said there was 3, right?
Well,
you already said the 3.
I was referring to the chest buster shot.
That's right for Alien, because I was thinking, I was like, is this like something, But then again, there's been a lot of movies or whatever where there's people hanging off a cliff or a building or the Statue of Liberty or something like that.
Like, there's literally a term called cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, right there. Yeah, there definitely is. But and that's just how the episode ends. It's like Batman climbs back up, she's crying, and he kind of just walks up behind her, and that's it. No tease of like anything of like a future Clayface or anything. you know, which, like you said, we don't get them till Batman and Robin Adventures, right?
The 3rd season.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. It's not until they don't bring them back until the new Batman Adventures in season 3, and that's not for another 3 years.
Is that the one with Tim Drake?
Yes,
Okay.
we're talking Tim Drake season.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I remember that episode specifically. You know, that is a trippy fucking episode, I tell you, with the little girl. Because I mean, even like watching, when you watch it as a kid, you're like, God damn. I mean, it's a trippy episode, but yeah, it's crazy because like we were saying even last week, or even probably even talking about it the first time around, is the fact that it's like, when you think about Batman the Animated Series, you think about Clayface when you think about a lot of the characters, but it's like he's only in the first season twice. And like you said, he doesn't show up till the 3rd season. Crazy.
I know. But it's just a testament to how well they wrote the character, Ron Perlman's performance.
It's all great.
It's all fantastic.
And we got Mr. Venom right here. He said a question. He's all, if possible, do you think that if Stella got a sample from Clayface, she could have become Lady Clayface? Dun, dun, dun.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all.
And it would have been interesting for them to have maybe explored that. You know, because in comics canon, there's like, not even getting to Lady Clayface, there's at least three different Clayfaces.
So,
you know, Basil Carlo, the guy in the middle who I never remember the name of, and then Matt Hagen.
All right. And like you said, when we were talking about the first one, they kind of combined the first one, Barlow and Hagen, into like one.
Yeah. Because they used Matt Hagen's name, but they used Basil Carlo, who was the actor.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, could be that's not a bad question right there. So, but anyways, yeah, all I'm saying is
a lot.
Yeah, all I'm saying, and you know, and then some people, even when talking about Matt Reeves and doing who is he going to bring in for the trilogy, and some people are like, can you imagine Matt Reeves doing a Clayface thing? I mean, if Matt Reeves could pull off and wants to pull off a Clayface, I fully trust that he could. It wouldn't be on my list, like top list at least, but at least I would be like, hey, if he wants to attempt it, go for it. But I don't know if there would be in Matt Reeves' Batverse if he could have like something like that. To me, like I was just saying, you know, Black Label, Mike Flanagan, horror kind of type
movie.
Yeah, I mean that's
body horror, all of it.
Yeah, there's just something there for that. So I don't think Matt Reeves would go for that, but I think they should do something with a Black Label movie. Why not? But anyway, so there's Mudslide right there, guys, which we wish we were drinking some Mudslides after that, although the sound effects maybe not so much. Anyways. Does Eric wanted to ask, does season 3 episode explain how he's still alive? I can't remember. Yes. It does, right?
Yes,
okay.
It does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Because the funny thing, spoiler alert for a series, that's like almost 30 years old. But actually, no, this year is 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, but the funny thing is that when Clayface first shows up in season 3, you don't know why, because it's the anthology episode Holiday Nights. It's the one with like the 3 holiday stories between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
He shows up in that one because we also see Tim Drake in that episode before Tim Drake actually gets...
We see the origin story of... Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
No, we see the origin, like literally like the next episode was like the origin story of Tim Drake. But he shows up in Holiday Nights before we've gotten any explanation. But yes, the first full-on like Clayface episode, they give an explanation of how he comes back. Yeah,
there you go. Cool. And what do we got next week?
Oh, we have Paging the Crime Doctor.
Paging the Crime Doctor. Ooh. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
See right now.
It is a return and a featured episode for Dr. Leslie Tompkins.
Of course, we love Leslie Tompkins. So there you go. Well, that's what we'll be watching next week.
And I think And not only is it Leslie Tompkins, we also get another Rupert Thorne.
Oh, do we? It's another Thorne episode.
It's another Thorne episode.
It'll be one of those. It'll be one of those. When I watch it again, I'll be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, as per usual, which I love. That's what I love about revisiting that. So make sure you guys watch that episode. Thank you guys for spending some time with us, talking about Mudslide and Clayface and all that. You know, all the.
I won't do that too. That was all Dave. That's all
Yeah,
Dave. Right
just
there.
me right there, making the noises because for some reason that part of this it's Donald Duckish. You know, little Donald
It
Duck.
is Donald Duckish. You're
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. But I can't do the Donald Duck voice. My
Yeah.
best friend growing up, he could do it to a T, and I'd have him do it so much. He would do so many damn voices. I wish I could do the Donald Duck voice, but as the
My grandfather
Yeah.
can do the Donald Duck voice, and I never understood
can't.
why.
how I don't know how to get your voice. I don't know. So the only thing I could do is, is that. That's it.
The closest I could get was like,
Yeah. But how to? I can't. How?
I can't make words. I can make that sound, but I can't make words with it.
Oh man. And that's how we end this episode, trying to do Donald Duck's impression. I like it. Anyways, guys. So I appreciate you guys spending some time with us. Like I said, make sure you watch the episode next. Paging, what's it called?
Paging the Crime Doctor.
Paging the Crime Doctor. That'll be on next Sunday. So make sure you tune in and go ahead, Scott, promote yourself.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast at DC Squadcast, where podcast can be found. Yesterday, we just dropped our latest episode of Batman Scene by Scene, which is a lot of good old Bruce and Alfred in that movie. And so we're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube with the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
All right, guys, make sure you smash that like, thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that notification bell is on, and of course, we'll be doing Phone Junkie Live this week and everything, and all the stuff is brought down below. The sock meds, Patreon, all that's down below. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.